Hello friends, my name is Rachel and I teach online now. So I've been having quite a few questions on how I use my Wacom tablet for teaching. So I thought I would make this quick little video and let you see how I set it up and how I use it. Mostly I use Loom and Zoom programs for my teaching. Loom to create content for the kids to watch and Zoom for live classes for them to interact with me. I find that the Wacom tablet is mostly useful for live, but I do use it a little bit in my content creation. So background, I've been teaching in China over 10 years, and this is my first time doing online. I almost exclusively teach that kindergarten age, so little guys. So if you have other questions, if you put them in the comments, I'll see if I can answer some of them. But for now, let's look at the Wacom tablet. So what is it? So it comes with a cable, the tablet surface, and a pen. And this is a way in which you can use a pen for your mouse movements and your clicking. So it has this cable that charges it. I didn't get a wireless one. I can only think of a couple reasons why I'd want a wireless one, and they're really expensive. This one's about $50. And it came super fast. So the Wacom has these dots to help you navigate the surface. It has a pen loop for you to keep your pen. It has this pen that has a nub on the end and then two buttons that are programmable. So let's show you how I set it up. So when you get your Wacom, it does come with a tutorial for how to set up the tablet. Go ahead and follow that. It's very good and very clear. This is just how I set it up for online teaching. So when I get the tablet in, slow down, Rachel. When I get the tablet in, you install it. Oh, I'm sorry. What did that do? You install it on in your system, and this in your system preferences, this new little thing shows up here called Wacom Tablet. So if you click on that, the preferences for the tablet will come up. So you have the options of the pen and the mapping. So the pen, I was advised to change the tip feel and the double click distance to these settings by somebody that has a nicer tablet than me. But I honestly think it doesn't matter that much because mostly I'm not drawing and I do not use it for a professional like Photoshop. So I think it's probably fine, but you're welcome to use my settings. For the keystrokes for these clickable buttons, these programmable buttons, I made a keystroke for the first one, which is undo. So all you do, is you do the actual keystroke on your computer, on the keyboard, name it, hit OK. Now this button is undo. For this one, I set it as a click, so it's a right click. So when I hit it, it will do that. So if I put it on the thing and I touch, it's just a regular click. And if I hover, it's and right click, right click, right click. Okay, so it's pretty simple. Now for the mapping, you have a couple different options. It comes already set up to full, which means that this whole surface corresponds to the desktop screen, to your screen. So this corner is this corner, and as you move, so it maps the entire screen. I find that my arm doesn't want to move that much. It's not very natural. So what I've done is gone into portion and set just this corner right here is the surface where I'm going to be working. So because of that, I only have to set my hand on the tablet just like I would for writing. And my hand doesn't move a whole lot, like maybe this much to get to the edges of the screen. So you'll want to set it up what's comfortable for you. And then when I'm creating, oh, did I make that? Oops. When I'm creating content using Loom, which is this program, they do have in Pro this fun little annotation function that you can draw, but find it to be a little bit clunky. It's more useful for like drawing attention to something, underlining, somewhat. But what is nice is they do disappear by themselves. You don't have to actively do anything with them. So it's kind of nice. But the place where this really highlights is in Zoom. In Loom, really, I just use it for drawing attention to PPTs. So let's open a Zoom call so you can see what I do. Okay, so I've opened the Zoom call. Everything's muted and turned off. These programs are not friendly, so it's going to be a little tricky for me to show you, but I want you to see what the teacher sees when using it. So in Zoom, you have quite a few options for sharing, and really, it's so necessary for when you're doing live classes to have the option of sharing. So I have a few things open that I could share. The whiteboard and this preview are something that I really want you to get a good look at. So let's share the whiteboard. So when the whiteboard comes up, you have these drawing functions. So you can select, have text, you can type on the screen with using these functions. The stamps, they're very funny. Spotlight lets you really only want to use Spotlight with older kids. Like my little guys don't even know what this is. It highlights things. You format, which lets you change the size of things and the color. And then these undo buttons and then the clear all drawings. You can also undo though using your clicking. So I don't use this undo very often. So let's stop this share. And then I'll show you on a PDF. I have a book that I already had, and I'm just going to try and move it, having both things open. So when you have a PDF or anything really open that's not the whiteboard, you have this option of annotate. So if you click on that, then all of the features that come up for the whiteboard come up here, except there is this one more, which is the mouse. And you want to be kind of careful that when you're drawing, you don't try to use mouse functionality because it will not work. So when you have the mouse selected, you can do things like changing the size of the PDF or things like that. And you can't really, when it's drawing, if you were to try and do that, make a mess, or it's not going to do anything. So those are the things that I use Zoom for and how you could see it as a teacher. But because these programs don't work together, I can't show you what it looks like unless I turn off Loom. So I'm going to turn off Loom and then show you in the Zoom call what a student would see if they're watching it. So yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, so shaky. So in Zoom, we're in the Zoom call now, we're recording. I'm going to show you what things I use the screen for. So come on, catch up. Loom is doing its thing. It takes up quite a bit of my processor speed, so it's kind of slow. So let's look at the whiteboard share. There we go. So if I want to like make words, this is really helpful to be able to write using the Wacom tablet. Like this is me writing and underlining with it on here. If I try to write with my trackpad, not only is it so slow, which is very difficult, you lose the kids, it also looks like garbage. Like this is me trying. I really am trying. But let's undo those awful things because the tablet lets us have a little bit more fun. So let's see here. If I want to, I could draw pictures for the kids. I'm really a terrible drawer, even in real life, not just in digital, but they can know that that's a cat. And I drew it in like 5 seconds, other than trying to do it without a tablet. So now let's clear all drawings. I could also have made the circle this way and then changed and done eyes and ears, nose, mouth, whatever. I can also do the stamps. that are like these arrows or these hearts or question marks or X's. And then I can hit the select button and grab all of them and clear. Oh, I guess select them and move them. I can do that as well. I can also use the eraser. The spotlight looks like this. So it puts a name on whoever puts it there. So it's nice for older kids, but not for the kids that I'm working with. Change colors. Oh, clear that. Change colors for the drawing. Yeah. So I use this a lot. If you want to draw, you could also put your names at the top. Here's Anna, and you can keep track of score. And if you stop sharing and you go back to it, it will still be there. So you could put more tally marks or whatever. And you could have teams and make team names or whatever. So it's pretty simple and fun. But the tablet is really what's making it possible for me to do those things without losing their attention. So the other thing I do is when I'm sharing actual content, so we'll look at this preview again, I can use the annotate function and I can draw attention to things like, oh, look at these, they all have EA. What does that mean? Or, you know, I said each peach, pear, plum, I spy Tom Thumb. Where's Tom Thumb? Is he in the basket? Is he on the ladder? Is he in the pear tree? Is he in the peach tree? And the kids can draw attention. If I ask, you know, how many rabbits are there? They say one. I say, oh, really, one? Are there one rabbit? Is there one rabbit, or are there two rabbits? I can kind of draw their attention to certain areas. Another thing that's kind of nice is I could do things like, let's undo that. Undo. Like putting oh my goodness, why can't I draw all of a sudden? Putting the vowels at the bottom so we can draw attention to things for when they're reading. That's really nice. And they'll stay on the top. So if I were to change the page, it would be there, which is sometimes annoying, but also sometimes nice. So clear all drawings, stop share. Okay. So really the tablet is the way in which I can create instant content like on a normal whiteboard, but make it quick and easy to read relatively. I mean, I'm not an artist or anything, but this way the kids they don't lose their attention when I'm doing it. Also, it really helps to bring to life some of the content that already exists. Things like I could do it even in a video while it's playing in the background, things like that. Like I have kind of the freedom of drawing on my screen anything that I already have there. So really, I could do that, sure, through my trackpad, but I'm not gonna, because I'll lose the kids before I get it finished, or the moment will have passed. It's really the way I have made some of the instincts that I've built up from teaching, made them possible on Zoom and Loom, particularly Zoom, because I find that online teaching is very frustrating to keep the kids' attention and to use your instincts for what they are focusing on. And this has really helped me. So this is, again, I said it's a one by Wacom. I'll try to put a link in the description. Like I said, I bought mine in China, so I'll try to find an equivalent one in the States. They're around $50. If you want, you can buy more expensive ones, but I find that they are much more for professional artists and not so much for teachers. Their functionality is just, it has so many things that are just unnecessary. So I find the base model to be very helpful. So yeah, I hope you have a great day. Enjoy your teaching. And if you have any questions, put them down in the comments and I'll see if I can get to them with all of my crazy schedule right now. But yeah, happy teaching.